Have you ever wondered why you're not getting the results you want despite spending hours in the gym every single day? Here's the brutal truth that nobody wants to tell you. You're training like a bodybuilder, but you're not a bodybuilder. And that's exactly why you're failing to reach your goals. Right now, millions of people are following bodybuilding routines they found online, spending 2 hours doing chest and triceps on Monday, back and biceps on Tuesday, and wondering why they're not seeing the physique changes they desperately want. But here's what's really happening behind the scenes that the fitness industry doesn't want you to know. The traditional bodybuilding approach that dominated gyms for decades is actually sabotaging your progress if you're just a regular person trying to get fit, strong, and healthy. Think about it. Bodybuilders are genetic freaks who dedicate their entire lives to muscle building, use performance-enhancing substances, and have completely different goals than you do. So why are you copying their training methods? Let me paint you a picture of what typical bodybuilding training looks like. You walk into the gym, you hit chest for 90 minutes, you do 15 sets of bench press variations, 10 sets of flies, and another 8 sets of dips. You leave feeling exhausted, your chest is pumped, and you think you've had an amazing workout. But here's the problem. You just spent an hour and a half training one muscle group while neglecting everything else your body actually needs. The reality is that bodybuilding splits were designed for people who train 6 days a week, have optimal recovery protocols, and whose primary goal is maximizing muscle size in specific areas. But if you're someone who can only train 3 to 4 times per week, has a stressful job, doesn't sleep 8 hours every night, and wants to be functionally strong rather than just look big, this approach is completely wrong for you. Here's what happens when regular people follow bodybuilding routines. First, you develop massive muscle imbalances because you're isolating muscle groups instead of training movement patterns. Your chest becomes overdeveloped compared to your back, your quads overpower your hamstrings, and your shoulders start rounding forward because you're doing too much pressing and not enough pulling. Second, you become weaker at actual real-world movements because you're spending all your time on isolation exercises that don't translate to functional strength. But the biggest problem with bodybuilding training for regular people is that it's incredibly inefficient. You're spending hours in the gym to train muscles that could be worked together in compound movements. Instead of doing separate chest day, shoulder day, and tricep day, you could be doing pressing movements that work all 3 simultaneously, while also engaging your core and stabilizing muscles. Now, before you think I'm completely against bodybuilding, let me be clear. Bodybuilding training absolutely has its place. If your goal is to step on stage in a tiny pair of trunks and be judged on muscle size, symmetry, and conditioning, then yes, you need to train like a bodybuilder. But if your goals are to get stronger, feel better, move better, and look athletic, then you need to completely rethink your approach. So what should you be doing instead? The answer is training like an athlete, not a bodybuilder. Athletes focus on movement patterns, not muscle groups. They train for performance, not just appearance. They prioritize compound movements that work multiple muscles simultaneously and translate to real-world strength and power. Instead of chest day, think pushing day. Instead of back day, think pulling day. Instead of leg day, think lower body power and stability. This shift in mindset completely changes how you approach your training and dramatically improves your results. Let me give you a practical example. Instead of doing bench press, incline press, decline press, and then moving to flies and dips, you could do a pushing workout that includes bench press, overhead press, and dips. This trains your chest, shoulders, and triceps all in one session, while also working your core and stabilizing muscles. You get better results in less time. The athletic approach also emphasizes functional movement patterns that actually matter in real life. When do you ever need to do a bicep curl in the real world? Never. But when do you need to pull something heavy off the ground? All the time. That's why deadlifts are infinitely more valuable than bicep curls for most people. Here's another crucial difference. Athletes train movement quality before quantity. They focus on perfect form, full range of motion, and proper activation patterns. Bodybuilders often sacrifice form for heavier weight or more volume because they're chasing a pump or trying to overload specific muscles. But for regular people, movement quality is everything. The athletic approach also incorporates more unilateral training, which means working one side at a time. This helps fix imbalances, improves core stability, and builds functional strength that translates to sports and daily activities. When's the last time you picked up something heavy with both hands perfectly balanced in front of you? Probably never. You're always reaching, twisting, and moving in multiple planes of motion. Another massive advantage of athletic training is that it's more time efficient. Instead of needing 6 days per week in the gym, you can get incredible results with 3 to 4 well-designed sessions. You're training movement patterns that overlap, so you're getting more done in less time. The psychological benefits are huge too. Athletic training feels more purposeful and engaging than mindlessly grinding through isolation exercises. You're learning skills, improving coordination, and building strength that you can actually use outside the gym. But here's the most important part. Athletic training is more sustainable long-term. Bodybuilding training burns people out because it's repetitive, time-consuming, and often leads to overuse injuries. Athletic training keeps you engaged, healthy, and strong for decades. So if you're ready to stop wasting time training like a bodybuilder and start getting real results, here's what you need to do. First, shift your focus from muscle groups to movement patterns. Second, prioritize compound movements over isolation exercises. Third, train for performance and function, not just appearance. Fourth, focus on movement quality and proper form above all else. Your body will thank you, your performance will skyrocket, and you'll finally start seeing the results you've been chasing. Stop training like a bodybuilder and start training like the athlete you were meant to be.